Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all fandoms, welcome to the Ferret and Raccoon podcast, episode 24. I'm Ferret.
I'm the Angry Raccoon.
And I'm Ace.
And yes, we are back for the one of the last podcasts of the year.
Oh.
We're getting close. It's almost December. And as you already heard from the introduction, we have Ferret back.
Yep, I'm back, guys.
This is where we do the celebratory Super Smash Bros. Music.
Yeah, if we weren't copyrighted, yeah.
If this was like the radio, we would have like some soundboards going off there.
Yeah.
Like some clapping and stuff.
We need
So
to
like cheering fans.
we need to that's the plan for the next year's podcast. Just have a soundboard.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's the plan. But I think we'll just quickly ask before we get into things. What's been happening, Ferret? What you been up to, man?
Alright, man, well, I've been hiding in a bunker for the past few days, playing Fallout, you know what I'm saying? Doing some work at university, you know. I'm just, trying to balance it all together.
Because you've been gone for some time from the podcast, and obviously university, it takes some time. Because this is your first time at university, right?
Yep. And, I didn't realise how much you got to focus on there. Doing a bit of drinking too, you know.
Or the alcohol?
Yeah, gained a bit of weight, mate.
Oh,
Pretty
no.
ridiculous.
And we just, I just specify we are talking to you via Skype. You know,
Yep.
You're actually in the room. But I think this is the best way to do it. Because, I mean, that way you don't have to trek down from where you are just to come to do an hour podcast and head back. Because that's a waste of money and all that.
Yep.
But yeah. It's good to know. Anything significant you want to talk about over the last 2 weeks, if anything?
Fallout, I've been playing that, banging it out, mate. It's been ridiculous.
How many hours you put in so far?
Oh, I think, let me just check in Steam quickly.
Alright.
I have a lot, I think.
What, a lot of hours put in?
Oh, no, I only got like 30 recently.
30 hours.
Yeah.
Slightly that's minimum, I guess.
That's not that much, to be honest. Damn, I thought I had a lot more.
Compared
But
to
I
how
guess
much
it's
content
just
there
uni,
is.
so.
Yeah. I'm just saying, guessing how much content there is in the game, you probably haven't even scratched the surface.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I've only done like a few of the missions. That's the weird part. I'm already 30 hours in. It's ridiculous. I love it.
I mean, that's what you call like content and, you know, money's worth, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I think me and Ace, we've had like a fairly busy kind of 2 weeks. I guess the more important thing is the fact that we finally graduated from our like courses.
Yeah, graduated. It was
Well played.
pretty weird. Interesting.
It was a weird experience. I mean, this is the first time we've graduated from a kind of college course. I mean, I have to do it again in a year's time.
Yeah.
But like, it was interesting. We had like the gowns and the hats and everything, and I was surprised at how like short the actual ceremony was.
Yeah, it was over in a flash.
It was like an hour long.
Bloody hell. Wow.
Which I'm not sure if anyone who has graduated within a college has had longer or shorter, or we don't know if that's the standard, but I guess their intention was get in, get out. I guess. Possibly, I don't know.
That's the thing, is like during the whole ceremony, you know, there was the people up at the front and everything. I couldn't keep a straight face at all. And I was saying to the two girls beside me, kept saying, it was like, oh, we've been initiated into a cult or something. Or do we get to try on the sorting hat up there?
Gryffindor!
Exactly. But
Bloody hell.
I started busting out laughing way too much.
I mean, I thought it was cool. I mean, I had like my family with me. You had your brother with you,
Yeah.
and it was a nice experience. Shame we didn't get to see like all the people we liked within our respective class. But
Yeah.
you know, whatever. I mean, oh well. But I guess I think before we move on to like, because usually we talk about what's happened in our life, and then we talk about things we watch. We're actually going to save that for the end of the podcast this week, because there was next to no news for this podcast.
A bit dry recently.
Really dry. I think people were just still playing that Fallout.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Last year it was last 2 weeks it was hampering people from watching porn.
Yeah.
And now it's hampering just news in general.
I guess people aren't acting stupid or dumb now that Fallout's out.
Yeah, they're just doing that in the game instead.
Except for like Square Enix, because they got messed up like big time thanks to
no.
Fallout, because that game, Rise of Tomb Raider, just did not sell.
Oh, that's a bad time to pull your game, isn't it?
Exactly. For the second time in a row, their game's been shut down. Like when was it the Tomb Raider 2000?
First one.
Yeah, the one that's just called Tomb Raider, because that's not confusing. when that one came out, that one had really weak sales, and Square Enix at a certain point were like, yeah, we cancelled this, it failed, and it went on to sell like about 10 million.
7 million.
Yeah, 7 million over the course. It's like, calm down, guys. Things can make a profit.
Yeah, it doesn't need to make 1 billion instantly.
Day one.
Like Call of Duty.
Not even Call of Duty makes 1 billion.
They want that Grand Theft Auto money.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing.
Unfortunately. But I guess now we'll move on to stories, and I think I'll take the first one, and that's the fact that the PS4 is going to be getting a PS2 emulator to the system, which is interesting.
To be honest, right, I'm a bit annoyed, right, that they just announced this, because this should already be like when they released it first. You know what I mean? We should already been able to play all these games before.
Yes, it is kind of stupid. I mean, they still haven't said anything about like a PS3 backwards compatibility, because their main reason being they want to they want people to still keep their PS3s, which even if that is an excuse, I guess it's a viable excuse to some extent. But,
I guess, but it's a bit. I think that's a bit like. I think that's a bit stupid, though. You could just make it backwards compatible. You know what I mean? To all consoles.
Yeah, and I mean the fact that this is like a like something they're just adding in a pitch just goes to show they could easily do it with PS1 or PS3. It's just
exactly
it's so dumb. Like,
with PS3, they actually did something similar where you could play PlayStation 1 games, not all of them, but a selection of them on PS3. And it's like they won't do the previous gen, but they'll do the one before that. And it's the same with Xbox, isn't it?
To some extent. I mean, because I know people have been saying, because of this news story, Sony's only doing this because Microsoft has the whole Xbox 360 thing where you just put the disc in, you download and you play it, which just seems like it's such a finicky system, to be honest.
Really
I'd much rather just be like, oh, can I play this game? Sure you can. And it's like, their system just seems just a bit too just whatever. But I mean, just going into some of the details, so it seemed that like PlayStation UK tweeted, kind of 2 weeks before this was confirmed, saying, which games would you love to play again? SSX Tricky and Time Splitters 2, which are good games. Get Our Vote in the Office, as well as Sony XDev, which are essentially the people who are kind of working on some of the more current games or indie games. They said, so what PS2 games would you like to see on your PS4? Kind of hinting towards this. So they were well aware that they were going to do this, but I mean, it's a good thing that they're doing, but at the same time, it just seems a bit pointless.
It is, yeah.
And I mean, I've kind of put here, it just goes to show how much PS4 games are struggling right now if they have to go and say, remember good games?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I mean, they're not going to make a profit off that, not unless they're charging people for the emulation, which they kind of tried to do with the Steam, not Steam, sorry, the streaming service they had.
Oh yeah,
and the Play Store, didn't they?
Play Store, and then the TV one, which just no one cared about.
No, because it's a stupid system.
It is fairly stupid. I mean, for the most part, but I don't know. I guess it's good and it's bad, but it's just at the same time. I think around the table, I think it's just pointless.
Yeah, exactly.
Very unnecessary.
So, Ace, do you want to take the next story, which is regarding Bioshock?
Yes. So, recently it's been said that another Bioshock game is coming out. They, I think it was the CEO of Take-Two Interactive, Stalselnik?
He's got a tricky name.
I've probably butchered that. Yeah, again, if you know how it is, let me know. Don't just say you're an idiot. You can't pronounce every name in the world.
Yeah, there's always that one guy.
Yeah, exactly. Just let me know. He's confirmed that another Bioshock game is being developed by 2K California, which is 2K Marin, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're calling the series a permanent franchise and saying it won't become an annual release. But they have a suggested release of 2016. Yeah,
which is kind of dumb when you kind of say, oh, it's not going to be a Bioshock game every year, but then you're like, it will possibly be coming out 2016.
Yeah.
Doesn't say we're taking our time on this game, annoyingly.
I mean, unless they at some point say they've been working on it for like a year or two already, but even then.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, just going around the table, what are our thoughts on like the last three like Bioshock games? I'll start with you, Ferret.
Well, I didn't play Infinity, but I read a lot of reviews about it. That was a great game, apparently. And I played number 1 and number 2 like for a few hours, and they seem like really solid games.
Oh
so, yeah, and they got a big following, so can't complain about that.
Yeah, they've got a good. I wouldn't say it was like it's not cult, nor is it like GTA status, but it's like a good following of just like this game is regarded as good. And I mean, the first Bioshock, I've played that game many a times. I know that game inside out. So I would say I would bounce for all 3 of them. Even the second game, which people's was just a sequel, but it's got its moments. I mean, Ace, like.
I really like the first game a lot. It's the closest to the System Shock games.
Just because it is System Shock.
Exactly. It is underwater System Shock. Second one, I really enjoy. Except for the bits where you got to, like, escort the little girls around, because that bit's annoying as hell.
But they kind of had that much worse in Bioshock as well, slight spoilers.
Those were more optional in a way.
No.
I know what bit you're talking about, but that bit is a bit easier because it's only once. And Bioshock Infinite, it is a great game, but it's dumbed down. It's
Infinite?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's super action game instead of RPG action that the previous were.
Unfortunately, but I think it kind of gets. I think a lot of the stuff they did well kind of almost balances that out, where it's like you can still enjoy the game.
Yeah, I wasn't too amazed by the story either. It was like everyone going like, "This is the best story ever." It's kind of like, it's alright.
No, it's enjoyable. I like it. But I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. This story kind of rubs me the wrong way because I'm kind of like, are you guys going to do another Bioshock game underwater, or are you going to do another Infinite game? Because the main issue here is you've already tackled the 3 big S's, being the sea, the sky, and space. If you were to set it somewhere differently, where are you going to set it?
It's not an S, but volcano.
In a volcano. Volcanoes aren't that big.
A massive volcano. The core of the Earth.
But think about how boring that's going to be to look at. Because
that actually sounds awesome. The core of the Earth.
Exactly. Well, you could have like crystals in the Earth, and then you have magma and lava.
The core is fine, but I think other games have done ideas better than that. I mean,
an asteroid.
Or a falling asteroid or a floating asteroid in space?
At one point it's just floating, near the end it's like crashing.
Okay, so then let's say the main character is aware that the asteroid is falling to a planet. Does the game then become, oh fuck it, let the asteroid crash, or do we say, oh no, we need to save the asteroid? Is it we need to save the asteroid at home
or save it? That's what it would be.
That doesn't work.
No, it will be. It'll be literally last minute kind of choice, and it'll be like, no matter what you've done up to, you could have been super nice and got the, but yeah, it'll be save it or don't.
No, I'm not feeling that one. I'm not feeling it. Alright, speaking of other things I'm not quite too feeling, Ferret, do you want to take the next story, which is regarding the fact that there's going to be a Hey Arnold TV movie happening?
Well, yeah, basically you just said it yourself. New Hey Arnold movie in the works. They posted a link on IGN, just showing us a little bit of it. You know? I'm pretty excited for it. I mean, I can't, since it was quite long ago since Hey Arnold, like I've seen it on TV. It's like my mind is kind of like, oh, I can't remember if it was that good or nothing. It's just the nostalgia for me now. But I kind of want to see where it goes. You know, it's quite interesting.
I mean, I've never been a fan of Hey Arnold personally. Yeah. And I mean, what they're kind of saying is, I mean, this makes sense because we talked about this on the podcast where Nickelodeon is talking about possibly reviving some of its older shows. Yeah. So this comes as like no surprise, but I mean, the fact that they're saying they want to answer unanswered questions and plots, and kind of just take off right where the series left is interesting for me in a sense. Yeah.
I definitely agree with Ferret on is definitely banking on my nostalgia because I can't remember. I remember good bits, but I can't remember overall if it was great. So it's definitely I watched that a lot when I was a kid and I enjoyed it. Is it going to be good?
I mean, a few things to know. Which when I did do a little bit of researching, the original creator has come back.
Oh, wow.
He's I think he's a writer and exclusive producer. Yeah. So that's promising. Downside is they probably most likely will not be getting the original voice cast because they were kids back then.
Yeah.
Not unless all those voice actors can somehow do kids. It's not going to happen.
Or it's all grown up.
No, because they said it's going to take off right where it left. So they, it'd make no sense for them to suddenly be adults.
Pitch shift.
If they want to do a series where it's like Rugrats all grown up, fine.
Yeah.
But I think if you're going to do this one-off movie, keep it with the characters you know and love as they were.
Only thing is, like, I'm pretty sure most people can't remember where it left off, so it's going to be a bit confusing for most audience.
It left off with, because I had to research, it left off with the movie, the 2002 movie, or 1 movie, where it was kind of dealing with Arnold's parents.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Doesn't it have some, like, men in suits and stuff and some sort of spy thingy going?
Yes, because what happened is, I don't think this is really a spoiler, but, like, his parents disappear because they are kind of explorers and they kind of get entangled in something, and there was, because I don't think the first movie did very well, there was going to be a second movie, I think codenamed or just titled Jungle Movie, which was actually going to explain where his parents are, and you were actually going to meet them with all the characters meeting them. So a lot of people are speculating that due to the fact that he said that one of the people at Nickelodeon said unanswered plot lines like where Arnold's parents are, that they're actually just going to do the second film and just continue.
You know what this sounded like? Like the whole unanswered plot lines, missing parents stuff. This is where they got the plot for Amazing Spider-Man.
God.
They got it from Hey Arnold.
The second one. Oh, God.
That's where it came from. They were watching this, like, we can do this for Spider-Man.
They saw the potential.
Yeah.
And then fucked it up. Okay, so, wow, it's kind of scary to say we're almost actually done with all the news stories.
Been a slow news bye-week.
Wow, really slow. We're like just over halfway. So we got this fairly interesting story. I'll take the next one. So Fantastic Four, 2015's Fantastic Four film sequel. Yeah, exactly. So Fantastic Four 2 has disappeared off of Fox's schedule of released movies.
Not surprised at all.
Very interestingly enough, the film was originally aiming for a June 19th, 2017 release, but it has since disappeared off the schedule. Some of the possibilities being the fact that it was cancelled due to the fact that no one wants this sequel.
Yeah.
But interestingly enough, Fox technically has to make another film because if they don't, the rights go back to Marvel. So whether Fox has just given up on the project and they're just waiting for Marvel to come claim it or not, I don't know. But for them to keep that franchise, they have to use the characters, they have to use the names.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, even if they do make another film, anything other than the film, like, toys, branding, that goes to Marvel.
Yeah.
So that's why Fox's films have to be a success. I mean, what are your thoughts on this, Ferret?
I don't think they're gonna ever get it right. They just don't have the knowledge and the right people working on it. Marvel knows how to make a movie, knows how to make their movies because it's under their franchise. Mm-hmm. Fox with it, they're not going to be able to do anything with it. They could just keep bursting out rubbish films. They should just let Marvel just have it and let us finally get a good Fantastic Four movie, even though nobody wants it, of course.
Yeah, I think it's the case of people would much rather it just go to Marvel just for the sake of it. But you have raised a good question. A lot of people have suggested you can't do a Fantastic Four film because it's no different than doing a Superman film or a Thor film. Is that they're too powerful? There's nothing interesting.
Well, this is the thing I always say. I mean, I still say the first and second Superman films are great. The 70s ones.
Yeah, they are good. Yeah,
I love them, and that's because they give them threats that are about same power level as them. I mean, the second one, not the first one. Mm-hmm. But you could do a Fantastic Four movie, but it's gonna have to be Guardians of the Galaxy style comedy, because those kind of powers, you're not going to be able to do serious.
Not quite on the comedic level, but I think within that kind of world, I think you need comedy.
Yeah.
But look what happened with the first two Fox films.
No,
they tried to be outright
slapstick.
Okay,
comedy.
yeah, all right.
The thing is, right? Fantastic Four actually is quite comedic in the comics. That's the weird thing.
Yeah.
They should just go with comedy. I think that's the main thing. Because if it's a crap movie, like, people still like it if it's funny. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
to some extent, yeah, you're right.
To some extent, they'll like it because it's funny, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Just try and make a good comedy out of it, I think.
And maybe don't have Doctor Doom in your first film.
Yeah, maybe not start with one of the most powerful villains in all of Marvel history.
How about if you're going comedy route, do Mole Man.
Yeah,
That works.
someone who's ridiculously
And he's got his
dumb.
giant mole monsters. Imagine that. New York is being attacked by the Mole Man. Sent in the Fantastic Four.
As long as you play it in that voice, in that tone,
Yeah.
it could work. As long as it's not, guy behind a desk going, Mole Man's attacking. We better call the Fantastic Four.
We don't know where these monsters are coming from.
They're
but
the only
taking
one
our
who can
family.
stop it. Then you've just destroyed your film.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
even the trailer for 2015's Fantastic Four, there were moments where it's like, where you're scratching your head going, that was the joke, right?
Yeah. That's the thing. The problem is, it was funnier in the trailer. Because the editor for the film done fucked up.
I think almost everyone fucked up in that film.
Yeah.
Which is weird. They try and make it too serious, man.
They really
They
did.
forgot it was a superhero film.
Yeah.
Well, I think there was a misconnection because the director's saying Fox ruined his film.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think his film was already partly ruined anyway because he forgot
Yeah.
he was making a superhero film.
Well,
And he forgot. He probably didn't even know what Fantastic Four is before he showed up.
that's the thing. The script for it was great, and it actually had the superhero and the comedy in there. And I mean, it had a bit too much going on because it had Mole Man, it had Doctor Doom, and Galactus. But that was too much. They obviously cut like Doctor Doom and cut Galactus out. They
Doctor Doom wasn't even in that film. That was magical CGI bullshit, man.
His powers are still unexplained. Like, at some point, he's just like, I control him rocks, and the other part, I'm blowing people's heads up.
Yeah, because it was like,
Just by looking
when
at
the
it.
hell has Doom ever been able to throw rocks?
Well, in the comics, he has magic, and I hate that.
But that's like the 60s. But it's,
Yeah.
the thing about Doctor Doom is now, he can do anything, but
Yeah.
it makes sense why he can do anything because he's a smart person.
Yeah.
He's always hidden away. You know he's doing something, so that's why he'd always have an answer for everything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Plus, where are my Doombots? I want a Doombot in a movie.
That would have been a much clever idea if they were just firing a Doombot the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been a sequel bait kind of thing, but at
Yeah.
least it would have been like, oh damn, we are actually dealing with a smart and intelligent villain here. You know what I mean?
And then fans would actually have a reason, like, oh, now I've got to go see Fantastic Four 2.
If the film was still shit and it only had that
No,
one good
yeah.
idea, no. Alright, so they had the handy next story over to Ace, and that is the... Well, I'll let you take it. I'm going to stop
Okay.
spoiling the actual, thingies. Go on, man.
So, recently, the Captain America Civil War trailer launched.
Yeah,
I guess, yeah. It came out on 26th, and...
26th of November.
Yeah, I remember it saying, because I was actually telling you this, that it was going to air before Star Wars Force Awakens.
Yes.
And that was going to be its first, showing.
Yeah, and that got me really confused because when I looked on Facebook and saw the trailer posted, I went, oh damn, they've already released Star Wars?
Yeah.
As some kind of weird surprise, and I was like, oh shit, But, go on.
Yeah, so, I mean, personally, the trailer didn't do much, but I understood.
Like, we've all seen the trailer, yeah?
Yeah.
Civil War, okay, yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing, if you've read the comic books, I'm going to say this, they were awful. It had a great idea, but it was written terribly. Every character is a jerk. Complete dick. They don't match the characters. Iron Man is a paranoid idiot, and not his normal sarcastic paranoid idiot. He's more of, I'm going to kill everyone because kind of shit. The only good thing with the Civil War comic was Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
And it was his own side story, because he's like, well, this shit's happened, I'm actually going to go stop the problem instead of causing more. Well, everyone's just fighting amongst themselves.
The hothead is the only answer.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm interested in it, because it actually looks better than the comic. Because the comic is terrible.
Like, it looks like they managed to get the dark tone of
Yeah.
what the comic was going for, and I at least appreciate that. I mean, Ferret, your thoughts on the trailer?
Yeah, it looks good.
Just that. Fair enough.
You
I
saw
mean,
the screenshots. He
I
thinks
saw the
it's great.
screenshots. They looked awesome. But yeah, I'm not too big of a fan of the Captain America, so I'm not really buying into all of this stuff and into the whole Avengers thing. I think it's cool. I think it's great what they're doing about connecting the universes, but I'm not too interested in it.
Oh yeah, that's fine. We're only bringing it up because it's somewhat big news because we didn't expect it to come out, and this is going to lead to bigger events.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, when I saw the trailer, I thought it was okay. I mean, it was a very boring trailer. Like, nothing happened except for that ruthless beatdown at the end.
Yeah, the Winter Soldier and Captain America beating up Iron Man, that was great.
I think when I saw this, because I was in university at the time, when I was talking with a friend who will probably debut on the podcast soon, and he just had to keep watching it, and he was just there watching, going, that is ruthless. How are they going to do Iron Man like that? How are they going to do my favourite Avenger like that? And like, I wasn't actually even expecting it, because that was like, it's not like a simple just, kick to the road, beat them down, kick them. That was like routine, like, oh, this is how we're going to beat him down. You pass me the shield, quick, okay, spin around, hit him, punch, splits, back up, punch, yeah, you going for the... That was like a video game.
Like, they were borrowing the X-Men's Danger Room to practice this.
Come on, we got to work out for this beatdown.
It also gave us our first look at Black Panther.
Yes, Black Panther.
Which, I like the costume.
Yeah, it looks fine. Got no issues with that.
Yeah, that's basically it that it showed of Black Panther.
Yeah, it showed him. All it showed was him like doing some nasty drop kick to someone.
Yeah.
And
then running.
Which I do like when after that trailer went up, someone kind of took a screenshot of that.
Yeah.
With Captain America chasing Black Panther, and it just kind of put the phrase, "Well, the man's trying to bring you down," which I thought was kind of great.
Oh, that's great.
It is a fairly ruthless run, but I think, has this made us any more? Ferret, I'd imagine you're not any interested in this film more than you already were, I guess.
What I like towards the end, the final line, which Iron Man says, like, Captain America says, like, used to be my friend or something. Was that?
Yeah, he says.
Iron Man says,
"Oh, but he's my friend," and he was like, "So was I."
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that has some great weight to it.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. I was like, "Ooh, okay."
And since then, there's been a lot of like parodies going out of that, which I thought was great. I think
got of interest a little bit. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I think this film looks promising. I'm just wondering how it's going to go down. I'm wondering if it's going to be. Because the main worry, I guess, for me would be, let's hope this film doesn't go dark and brooding.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried. I don't want 5 minutes of Iron Man sitting in the chair in his suit just thinking.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Considering Phase 2 of Marvel, I think Winter Soldier was my favourite of the bunch. And that trailer for that was really dark and brooding, but the film wasn't.
No.
So I think it's the same thing. They're just doing that kind of advertisement because it works.
I guess.
True.
It's bad when Marvel's going to come out with a colourful film that looks dark and brooding, but Batman v Superman is going to come out with a dark and brooding film that is nothing but no fun.
Yeah, well, it actually reminded me of you saying about Fantastic Four. They try to do supers, and they're just making it grim and dark. That's not supers. Exact same thing for DC.
There's a reason why comics are in colour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, someone hasn't told DC that clearly.
Exactly.
I'm not talking about the first Hulk film where they literally thought a comic book film had to be a comic book. Like I rewatched that film, and the first Hulk film is like one of the most hilarious Marvel films out there.
Oh. Yeah. I tried to forget it exists. Like,
it's so good. That film is so good as to how.
The Hulk dogs got me.
The Hulk dogs was great, and my favorite bit is when the dog bites him and he flexes and kills it. I was kidding myself. How are you gonna flex on something and kill it like that? Like, jeez. If you watched the Hulk film with Obsidian, that is a blast. That's like his favorite film, especially the end with I won't spoil it because I'd imagine there are younger audiences who haven't seen that first Hulk film, but the line at the end, I think you know what line I mean, is too good.
It is.
But okay, so moving on to the next trailer. I'll let you take I don't know. I guess Ferret, I'll let you take this one, which is you should know the next trailer we have to talk about.
How do you say it properly? Zootopia.
Yeah, Zootopia. Yes. So go on.
All right. Well, basically, there's a rabbit joins the police force, and then the missing case and all of this stuff going on, and They have to. It's about that's what it's about, and he teams up with a fox who happens to be a con artist. So something good's gonna happen if that happens. So, what are you guys' thoughts on it?
See, the way you said that, it made it seem like a rabbit was just joining a normal police force.
like you pretty. That sounded like the pitch to Disney right there.
Yeah.
Ferret.
So if it was like a rabbit's joining the normal police force, and then it's teaming up with this fox with the police, it's like...
And then Disney's like, do it!
This man's a genius, dude.
Give him all the monies.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I would like to see Ferret's name under, assistant director or assistant creator.
Put him as a character in there. Put him as a character in there.
Sure. I keep saying I'm still waiting to see the raccoon in that trailer. I don't think there's going to be a raccoon with a main role, but still want to see that.
Yeah.
There needs to be. I mean, I'm guessing they're going under the idea of at least every kind of character will be in there. But this trailer, I mainly put it in, we've talked about Zootopia before, and I guess you just gave a quick summary of the film.
I tried to make it as quick, snappy as possible.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. I didn't want you to go into every little detail. Oh, look at the way I
got to see behind the scenes, so I know the whole plot.
I mean, came back, brought us some screenshots, stuff like that. But this trailer, I thought it was they released a new trailer, the Sloth Trailers they call it, and essentially the two characters, the rabbit and the fox, they go to the it's like a DMV, but it's I forget what the pun is on it, but they go there and they're kind of dealing with Flash, who's one of the characters in the film, who's a sloth, but he's the fastest sloth in the DMV. I don't know how that works. And just the idea of a sloth literally not only being slow, but processing information slow is just comedy gold there.
That's genius.
I really don't like sloths. They have the weirdest faces ever.
They kind of do, yeah.
And they've got death claws,
Yeah, their claws are fucked.
Yeah. So, this is the only time I've ever seen a sloth in anything that I thought, I'm gonna like this.
Can you think of another time you've seen a sloth in anything at all?
Pokemon.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But his final evolution is Beast.
His final evolution is King Kong.
Basically, yeah. He goes from a sloth to a wildcat ape thing to...
Sedated King Kong.
Yeah. That thing does not give a fuck. But
he's just chilled.
This trailer was too good. I mean, and they really kind of nailed the whole idea of understanding every animal.
Yeah.
Even just the reaction of him just slowly understanding a joke and laughing to it.
That moment was beautiful.
was so well done. I think as well we got to see more of the animation, the rabbit. You actually get to see she's tiny.
She's tiny and super energetic. And adorable.
I thought she would be small, but not that small.
Yeah.
And if you look at that trailer again, if you look at the fox, he is constantly just cheesing throughout the whole of it. He's got this smug look because he is just taking the piss out of her, which is great. And there were other things I noticed about people, for example, the weasel in the beginning of the trailer is running off with the bag. He is Duke Weaselton. He is voiced by... his main role that most people know, he was in Frozen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because he played a character called the Duke of Weaselton.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so he's essentially playing the same character, kind of.
So is this going to be some sort of sneaky foreshadowing where it might look like he's a bad guy, but he's just...
He's clearly not the bad guy.
Yeah, he's just ineffectual.
He's run up with the jewels, to which the bad guy told him to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the Phoenix character is a villain. Yeah. He's called Finnick.
Okay.
It's I know, yeah, it's slightly terrible pun.
Well, considering the main character is called Nick.
Nick.
Nick
but he has Nick. He has N-I-K. That's how his name
Nick
is spelled.
versus Finnick.
I get the joke now.
Yeah, but he looks cool as hell. I mean, it's Phoenix wearing sunglasses.
All right, that's cool.
To which when I first saw it, I was like, how the fuck is he wearing them? But
yeah.
Because they have huge ears, those things. But I mean, it still looks like a great film. I think I've seen a lot of bitching going on where people have been like, "Why is Disney making another furry film?" And I was like,
bloody hell.
And I was like, "Where the fuck have you been the last 80 years?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So dumb.
it's people bitching because they want another princess movie.
Yeah, they want Frozen 2.
And 3 and 4.
Frozen 2 Electric Boogaloo.
But to which you just kind of tell those people, well, then I guess you'll be waiting until August for Mona.
Oh, yeah,
the film about the, I guess, supposed... I forget where she comes from, but it's off like the kind of East Coast... Not East Coast, as in like America. East Coast.
No,
hanging out with all the rappers.
So she, Moen, then.
Huh?
Moen.
Moen?
Yeah.
What do you mean, like Moen? Like Samoan?
No, like, isn't Easter Islands, like, people there are Moen? Like, Moan? And her being called Mona is a nice kind of joke on
Yeah, I think it's kind of that kind of thing, but it's kind of dealing with more of its spiritual kind of cultural stuff. So she's technically a princess to some extent.
Yeah.
So there you
got me really happy when you said Mona, by the way.
Why?
I thought you were gonna say Mona the Vampire.
Yeah, the best.
Disney needs to pick up Mona the Vampire. Someone should do like a film of that. That'd be great.
Do a crossover, like get the rights to Mona and get the rights to Buffy, have them team up.
Oh, that would be amazing.
But they're like, that would be a cool crossover, but like, it's like, for Mona, wouldn't it be like when she's dealing with Buffy and there actually are vampires and monsters, wouldn't it be like, oh shit, they are actually real? Would that be just a bit too surreal for the character? Like, oh shit, I'm, somewhat nothing compared to this 27-year-old.
But then she ends up becoming a vampire and she's like, now I have to live with this.
No, she doesn't need to become a vampire.
It'll happen.
Buffy's not a vampire, is she?
No, Buffy's the vampire hunter, so it's going to have to.
Well, sometimes the hunter is a vampire as well.
That they're usually done.
Look at Helsing.
He's a natural vampire. Yeah.
He's a vampire and he's hunting vampires.
Isn't he called Alucard?
Alucard, but I was saying Helsing because I didn't want to spoil too much.
Yeah.
Spoilers, guys. But let's move on to the next story, which I will take soon as I think me and Ace know a little bit more about it. And that's the fact that the Disney cartoon Gravity Falls is ending on its second season. Somewhat unfortunately, the creator Alex Hirsch announced it, I guess, just on various platforms, and saying that he's ending it with the next, at the time, the next two episodes. And it's his choice with the writers, which is fairly sad for the most part. I mean, Ferret, you haven't seen Gravity Falls, I don't believe.
I've seen like a few episodes that you've showed me before.
Okay.
But I don't really know too much about it.
That's fine. We weren't going to get into any details of like plot points or spoilers or anything like that, but we thought it's worth addressing because it's like one of the better shows on TV right now, and
Definitely.
the fact that this, well established and well known good show is able to end thanks to their choice and not Disney saying, all right, you're cancelled. Stuff like that, or
that's something. It's a lot of people are like really sad and like, oh no, why end it? It's like it's a good thing.
And I mean,
to finish their story.
To all you guys who are, obviously sad about the fact that a show's going, it's fine to be sad. Don't let anyone stop you being sad, but don't try and, want another third season if there is no story. You don't
want to drive it down to the ground, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the thing. And even like Guillermo del Toro, that's his name. Even he like tweeted like how prestige the show was,
which is like what?
That was a bit random when I saw that. I was like, okay then.
It's just great.
It's like you wouldn't expect someone like him to be like, oh man, my favorite cartoon, Gravity Falls.
Best cartoon of 2014 and 15.
Because I guess even he can appreciate like good talent in some sense. But I mean, even then, hey Disney, if you want to do the Gravity Falls movie, I guess you know what director to get.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it is sad and it is a bit upsetting, but whatever. I mean, I'm looking forward to the ending. I haven't actually watched the
penultimate episode,
the last 2 episodes, and another bit of good news and bad news is the fact that the final episode is going to be an hour long.
Oh, that's good.
But the only downside is they haven't said when it's coming out, just sometime in 2016. So that could unfortunately be anywhere. But, whatever. Sure, the show lasted 3 years, so be thankful for that. So Ace, do you want to take the second to last story, which is talking about another trailer?
Of course I can.
For a film.
So recently, the Zoolander 2 trailer came out of nowhere. We've had some of the marketing stuff, like they showed up to the Fashion Week thing. Yeah. Which, that was great advertising.
That was advertising enough. They shouldn't have bothered with the trailer.
Honestly, from that I wanted to go see it. Mm-hmm. But the trailer, there was something wrong there. It felt overdone. Like they were trying to throw too much stuff in, throw all their jokes in the trailer, and barely any of them hit.
It felt really weak and unoriginal, even for a sequel.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, they're trying to culture to too much things. Like, they have selfies in there, really famous people who are hip right now. I think it's a bit all too much. It's done up a bit, like, too excessive, I think. My taste.
I mean, I really didn't like this trailer at all, because I think, and back to what I was saying with it being too unoriginal, I think the fact that you're now going to make it a spy movie just seems so cheap. Like, that's like the we have no idea for a sequel kind of thing. You either make a spy film or you just decide to change the whole genre completely. And I mean, go on.
And they brought back old jokes as well, trying to like, oh, look at this. It's like everything you loved about us. Like they did that scene where Will Ferrell's character and his assistant, like they do that weird stare, which is hilarious in the first movie. They did that again. I'm like, okay, wow.
And even the like pouring of the hot coffee on him as well. It's
it's like poetry, so do they rhyme.
Nice.
But I mean, I was a bit annoyed with. I mean, okay, sure, you can bring Will Ferrell's character back into the sequel.
Yeah.
But don't show that in the trailer. I think it would have had more impact if you didn't have shown that. I think if Will Ferrell was in the last half hour and you said nothing about it, that would have made the film.
It would have been one of those glorious moments.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there was one good bit in the trailer which I'm sure a lot of people were like, oh no, I don't like him, so it's bad.
Oh, you're talking about like Justin Bieber?
Yeah. I enjoyed the bit, Justin Bieber like dying, not because I dislike Justin Bieber, just in general, him dying and then doing the selfie.
No, it was a great scene.
With Cold Still.
That's a good scene.
That was great. And I was like, that I was looking forward to, and then the rest was like...
The rest was like, oh, I'm gonna gear you up with the spy gear, you're gonna take out them... I was like, no.
And the thing is, they kind of just used the same storyline, haven't they? Just from the... They just recycled it, but...
Yeah, except it comes into play a lot earlier than it did in the first one. That's the only difference, which is...
Like, same villain, same, like, spy-esque, espionage type.
That didn't really become spies until, like, what, the last 20 minutes of the film.
Minutes, I think,
and then and that made sense because it made sense because in the context of the film it was like, oh, they could legit get into this building, they're famous, they know fashion, they could pull off any style, it was ridiculous and all that, but now it just seems like, right, you're spies now.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, sure, maybe the film could be cool, but like not a good trailer. Another example of a bad trailer just put me off a film.
There's just too many bad trailers. They show too much.
Yes.
The reason
they try and edit so everything's in there.
The reason why they are bad trailers is because directors have no control of the trailer, and what they do is they just hire some random kid to just edit the trailer, and they just say, we want this scene in and we want this scene in, because they want that, like, it's a term that isn't quite used as much. They want that like that trailer line or that trailer moment where you can tell a line is only in a film just to be for the trailer.
Well, it's like, a lot of Man of Steel was like that.
Yeah.
And then Avengers Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
You know the bit where they're all jumping in the woods.
Yeah.
That,
very
watching
trailer,
it in context with the movie, that was horrible.
Because you wouldn't realistically do that. It'd be like, Hawkeye, you go over there, Black Widow, go over there, Hulk, smash over there,
And the thing is, right, sometimes they create the line specifically for that and don't even include it in the movie. They do that a lot, and it's really irritating.
It is a bit irritating, because, I mean, well, you shouldn't be watching trailers more than once.
Yeah.
But, like, let's say you have, like, a memory of, like... Because trailers can ruin a film, because then you're like, oh, he's not dead, because I know there's that scene with him in it.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And then when you're waiting for, like, a shot of something, and then it doesn't appear, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
If you want to know how to make a good trailer, just look at 2001 Space Odyssey.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
That's how you make a trailer. You don't show us everything. You don't even show, like the basic things. You just, like, you build it up. You make us think, oh, what's this about? You know what I mean?
Two other examples of good trailers. Stanley Kubrick's The Shining.
Yes.
The original trailer for that. And the original trailer for Alien.
Yes, I was going to say that.
Fantastic. It says nothing about this film other than shit gets real.
Yeah.
I mean, and possibly, some would even debate that the trailer for Alien is scarier than the film Alien.
Yeah.
Definitely.
One of the things with trailers is, like, they end up being 2.5 minutes long. It's like, they end up showing so much of it.
Yeah.
They should cut it down to like 30 seconds and just show a tiny bit if they haven't got some artistic idea.
30 seconds minute max.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Or just take a scene. Like, for example, with Zootopia, they just took a scene from the film.
Yeah.
That's the trailer. Fine,
then,
I know what this film's about, you know.
Because with gaming you end up getting like 15-minute gameplay things, but that's because the games have so much more length.
So much
to them.
content and so much for you to understand.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we have, unfortunately, tutorial sections.
Yeah. So it's fine with that, having long trailers and teasers and all that stuff, but films, just one tiny bit. That's all we need.
It's true. I mean, but, oh well. I mean, and I guess I will let Ferret have the final news story. you take it away, man.
Alright, well, there's a little running joke between us where we talk about Tom Cruise starring in, like, random things you would never think he would star in.
Yeah.
And it seems it's come true.
Yeah.
Because Tom Cruise, they're talking about him being in the Mummy reboot.
Yeah.
Let me just say that again. Tom Cruise in the Mummy, okay? Alright?
Yeah. I mean, quickly, first of all, they're rebooting the Mummy franchise. A franchise that doesn't need to be rebooted.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Who cares about the Mummy at this point?
No one does.
It's like, no one's afraid of the Mummy. No one's like, oh, the Mummy, I gotta watch that. Like,
yeah, this is a bit like, okay.
And I mean, Tom Cruise of all people is the main character. It's just like, that's gonna, even if you do end up seeing this film, it's gonna take you out of it.
Yeah, exactly. You're not gonna be like, that's the character. It's like, that's Tom Cruise.
Unfortunately, I mean, Tom Cruise is a good actor, you know, good action star, good actor.
Really good,
Which is fine. I mean, no problem. We have no beef against him. It's just he needs to play films where you can blur the line, where you can say, "Oh, Tom Cruise is," or "Tom Cruise is in this film." You know, like for
Interview with Vampire,
Edge of Tomorrow, films like that, where it's like, "Oh, Tom Cruise, he's gonna do it." You know, he doesn't need a name most of the time. He should be just a nameless character most of the time.
Yeah,
because he's much like George Clooney in a sense. Whereas like it's always George Clooney no matter what.
Especially in Batman.
But I mean, just real quick, I mean, what else should Tom Cruise be in again? Since he possibly might be in the Mummy, you know, planned trilogies and all that. I mean, we've already said that when they do the live-action Naruto movie, he should be Naruto.
Oh yeah.
With One Piece, he should be like the main character, Luffy. I think
Death Note. He should definitely be Light in Death Note.
Oh God.
Light. He should be Light. Yes.
I'm gonna write your name in Death Note.
Butchers the name, the Death Note.
Oh yeah, no, the Death Note.
Death Note. Oh my gosh.
Who wants to be hit with the kids? The D Note.
The D Note. Yo, I'm gonna put your name in that D Note, son.
Exactly.
What you die in like 36.
How do I spell your name again?
Oh, that's S Crizzle.
Okay.
That'd actually be a good plot point because he puts in S Crizzle and then it's like, damn, it's not his real name. That's just his stage rapper name. Damn, I forgot rule 6. You can't put in rappers' names. It has to be the real name, yo.
See, something that always got me. What if they had their name legally changed? What happens there? Like, is it the legally changed name or the birth name?
I don't know, because doesn't if you change the name, doesn't the original name just get disintegrated?
I don't know.
It's weird, yeah. How'd you... Oh.
Or what if you had a name at birth, but you didn't know that because you were orphaned, so now you got a new name?
Yeah.
I mean, some babies just go unnamed for like a couple of days once they're born.
Yeah.
Because they're technically their mother. But, I don't know, this news story just kind of made the podcast, and that's why we kind of had to put it at the end. I mean, it's what's the line where it's like reality, like, no, what's the term? You know, when something, you know, when fiction, you know, actually becomes real.
Art imitates life, or life imitates art.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunately that's happened.
Yeah.
But if Tom Cruise is in the Mummy film, would we actually see this film?
I would go see it.
I think I would. Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's going to be amazing, to be honest, if this happens.
It would be hilarious. This would be a popcorn movie. Like, you just sit there at the back laughing, stuff in your face.
Oh god, much like that image of Tom Cruise, where like that's 3 images of him where he's just laughing.
Yeah.
God. I think we know what might be the thumbnail of this podcast.
Yes.
Oh my god, yes.
But yeah, just an image of Tom Cruise laughing at the mummy. But yeah, so that kind of, yeah, surprisingly enough, that's all the news stories we have for this podcast. But we're going to move on to our main discussion, which is guess what I've been watching, playing, doing in a sense, and we're just kind of gonna. Coincidentally, we all got a ton of things watched and played.
Yeah.
So I guess I will start with Ace, and I will kind of say, you know, what have you been watching, in a sense?
Well, I have been watching the recent Netflix show Jessica Jones.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's part of the whole Defenders thing where they're doing, where it's like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist.
Mm-hmm.
But Jessica Jones is basically the tale of a... She used to be a hero. It's kind of hinted at in the TV show, but that's where it is in the comics.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got superpowers of super strength. She has flight in the comics, but in the TV show so far, it's kind of like super jumping. It's not exactly purely said upon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of dealing with her trauma of a supervillain called the Purple Man, who can control people's minds and make them do what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
And she was basically his slave for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And she has to get over that, and then once he comes back into the life, because she thought he was dead, she ends up having to try and deal with him, track him down, and that kind of stuff. It has a great supporting cast as well, being Patricia Walker. You might know her as Hellcat.
Yeah.
She isn't Hellcat in the show yet.
But she's going to be.
Possibly. They have had an interview.
They hinted at it.
Yeah. Frank Simpson, who is possibly my favourite. In the comics, he's known as Nuke. He's an awful character in the comics, but in the TV show, he is amazing. They even did the whole red, white, and blue pills that they had in the comics, where it's like controlled different chemicals going in his body. I loved it. Mm-hmm. Amazing. David Tennant as the Purple Man. He's not called the Purple Man in this. He is amazing.
I think I know what he's called. Isn't he called like Kilgrave, which is like.
That's his surname in the comics.
It's a dumb name, but like it works for a villain.
Yeah.
Like no one's second name is really Kilgrave because you ain't getting no job.
They actually mention that. It's like, who the hell calls himself Kilgrave? Like, they actually say that at some point. But he's amazing. Probably the best villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Woo!
Yeah, I'm not kidding. After that, it'd probably be Loki and then Kingpin.
Better than Red Skull?
Oh yeah, but no, Red Skull can't be beaten.
That's what I thought.
Red Skull's the best. All that effort in there.
All those lines of dialogue. Yeah. All
that staring.
Yeah. All that makeup.
No, he's amazing. Definitely the best villain. I've compared the show to, if you put Death Note, made in the West, but film noir.
Because originally when you said Death Note in the West, that worried me, because I was like, no one wants a Western Death Note film.
But it is amazing. Like, I watched the whole season, started watching it again with my brother. He even said the same thing. It's like, I'm getting some Death Note vibes and it's really good.
It's amazing.
Exactly.
I mean, I'll be frank, I didn't know what the hell Jessica Jones was and I didn't care.
Yeah.
And I still, to some extent, not that you haven't sold me on it, but like, I still don't care.
Okay.
I need to see it to get it. But for the most part, I'm very interested in the fact that the Netflix TV series have done so well. This is the second good strike for them, just from what you're saying, obviously being Daredevil, and we still got 2 more to go.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Luke Cage did appear during Jessica Jones.
Yeah, I've seen.
Great actor. He's Mike Coulter. He was great as Luke Cage.
He looks him though as well.
Yeah, he does. First appearance, he's wearing his famous yellow top.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Does he have the belt buckle?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh no, he has a belt buckle, but it's not his one yet.
Okay.
So I presume that's coming later.
At least they hinted at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds good. I mean, I have somewhat. I'll probably get it on DVD eventually because they better release it on DVD along with Daredevil. Ferret, do you have anything to specify with Jessica Jones?
I have to say I don't know what's going on because I don't know Jessica Jones or anything.
There's gonna be a lot of moments where it's like I have no idea what this is, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Shall we go with you? Well, actually, no, because you have one thing to talk about, if I'm correct.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I was just gonna say only because you got one thing to go to. I've got like 4 things. So
Go for it.
we'll scatter it between everyone. So I've watched at least about 5 films over the course of this week. The first one I'm going to talk about is Aardman's, the people who do Wallace and Gromit,
Yeah.
and the Aardman's The Pirates and the Adventures with Scientists.
Okay.
It's actually called The Adventures with Scientists.
All right.
Fantastic British claymation stop motion comedy film. It's essentially about the main character being Pirate Captain. He's actually called Pirate Captain. And he's the captain of this kind of low rank kind of like pirate crew, and they're kind of going for like the pirate. Being a pirate has kind of been glorified within the 19th century when Queen Victoria was in power, and she hates pirates.
Yeah.
She's like the best villain in this film. Like Queen Victoria, ruler of England, is the villain in this film, technically. And they're kind of piracy has been kind of like what's the word? Is it too set up? It's like too commercial in some sense, because now they have like the annual Pirate of the Year awards.
Oh yeah.
And Captain Pirate wants to go for like the kind of Pirate of the Year kind of award, and even the King of Pirates is like a Elvis looking pirate with a crown and everything.
Oh my god.
And then it kind of gets entangled in this kind of like the adventures with scientists, where his crew like they meet what's the guy's name? I forget his name. But he's he was the kind of guy who went on. I'm really forgetting the guy's name, but he coined the term of like evolution and animals.
Darwin.
Yes, Darwin. Yeah, they meet Charles Darwin, who's played by David Tennant, coincidentally.
Nice.
And like a young Charles Darwin, not like the old Darwin you see. And they realize that Captain Pirate, his parrot is actually a dodo.
Okay.
To which at the time they're all gone.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, that's the rarest animal he has. They technically have a treasure. So it's kind of about getting the pirate crew to England, despite the fact Queen Victoria hates pirates and she would kill them.
Okay.
But they want to show off this as in a science experiment. We have a dodo. That's something that's been dead for like 50 years. And it's kind of like it almost becomes like a power struggle between this dodo in some sense. Whereas the pirate, it's his bird, and then like Charles Darwin, he wants it for like he wants it to impress her, Queen Elizabeth, and she wants it as well because she's like, oh well, I have every animal, I'm rich, and all that. And the finale of the film is fantastic, and the comedy in this film throughout it's very British, but it's got some good lines in there for like adults as well, but it's surprisingly good, and it does not look like stop motion. It looks like animation. Yeah. Like you'd never be able to tell it's stop motion because it's that good, and you're just like, why aren't these people making more films? I understand it takes time, but like, why does this make? And even in the soundtrack, they use a song from The Flight of the Conchords.
Seriously?
Yes, they actually use the song from The Flight of the Conchords. I'm not going to say what song it is because that will ruin it.
Yeah.
But it's very odd to hear that comedy song in a British like animated film, but it's such a good. If you I got like the special edition, the 2-disc special edition. So if you see that, pick it up.
I'll check that out sometime then. That's awesome.
I highly recommend that the film. It's a good watch. Ferret, what have you been playing or watching?
Well, talk about highly recommended things. Mm-hmm. Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Ah, yes.
Oh my goodness, where can I start? Okay. Well, first of all, I watched Evil Dead 2 and Evil Dead 3.
Mm-hmm.
They were all fantastic. I loved everything about them.
Good to know you enjoyed all 3.
Yeah, they were just... I especially love number 3, just for the comedy.
That's good, because not a lot of people really like Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. I thought it was brilliant.
It is a good film, but I think some people get a bit annoyed because it's not Evil Dead 3.
Yeah.
And
it gets a bit ridiculous, that's the thing.
Yeah, and I think people are just kind of like, but even then, the film has the famous line, "This is my boomstick."
Yeah.
Which is a great line in itself, but like, go on.
I think the reason why people don't like number 3 is because like number 1 and 2 were more like horror, more scary. Yeah. Whereas this was more horror. This is horror, but it was like it was like a lot of comedy and stuff. It was beautiful.
You know when the skeletons are like fighting Ash during that?
Yeah.
Sam Raimi was actually throwing the skeletons at like Ash. It was brilliant.
So that's why it looks like that.
Yeah, he was literally throwing them. Bruce Campbell was just like, alright, really? You just keep throwing them? And he's just like, alright. It's great.
But it works.
Yeah.
It works. It just works perfectly. But yeah, back to Ash vs. Evil Dead. It's a new series that's come out about, I think, 2 months ago or something.
Yeah.
They start showing it in America. But it picks off 30 years after the Evil Dead 3, but they can't mention Evil Dead 3 because of copyrights and stuff.
Army of Darkness, I'd imagine, yeah.
There's a lot with that.
Mm-hmm.
But it stays faithful to the series. It's amazing. It's hilarious. It's got the comedy. It's got the blood. It's got the action. It's beautiful.
Is it quite high budget for a show as well? Like, because you're saying this got blood and kind of, I've seen some where it's got like gore and kind of like monsters. Would you say it's like got a budget at least? Not that that's really a deciding factor for me. Just wondering.
I mean, it's got a moderate budget. I think. I think sometimes you can see that the things are quite a bit fake, but that adds to it. I like prosthetics.
Yeah, because even a prosthetic looks like a monster. It doesn't look like a prosthetic. It looks like a monster.
No,
yeah. It's got that. Yeah.
That's the thing. It's like with CGI, they try and make it too realistic that you just realize that even though CGI is amazing, it's just you realize it's fake and stuff when they put it on monsters. Yeah. With prosthetics, you get into it because it's actually like something physical that the person can interact with.
Exactly.
And I think that's the beauty of it. You buy into it when you see it on a movie.
Because you look at it.
Even if it's like fake.
Yeah, you look at it and you go, that's real.
Yeah.
It's an actual
even
object.
if it's just a mask or a suit or whatever, you go, that is real.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, the techniques they have they use in the series is amazing. They have like just the way that people react, like the monsters are shaped and stuff, the deadites and the camera angles, beautiful, everything's amazing. I'd give that a solid 10 out of 10, no joke. I ain't messing about with that.
Like, how many episodes are we in so far into the series?
I think it's like 5 so far.
Decent.
And I've only seen 4 now.
I'm guessing they're aiming for maybe about 12 or so.
Maybe, I'm not too sure.
I'm just throwing that guess out there anyway.
Just throwing it out. Probably about that much, yeah.
Cool. I mean, that's definitely on my list. That's like more on my list than Jessica Jones, only because I think an Evil Dead TV series makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, because it's like, how are you going to not answer these questions, but how are you going to give people more Evil Dead without just doing a film, without having it just being ruined by CGI? Because I'm sure Sam Raimi or whoever owns the right could easily just say, can we make Evil Dead 4?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, sure. And they'd be like, oh, well, we've got the practical effects of Dead Eye. And like, practical?
Yeah.
What are you talking about practical? It needs to be set in a hotel with jump scares and CGI ghosts.
Oh, so you've been watching American Horror Story Hotel then?
Yes, I have.
No,
that's what I was thinking.
It's like Evil Dead, the reboot movie, kind of. Yeah, it was like it was enjoyable, but it just wasn't anything in comparison.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. I enjoyed it, but that's my creaking door. It's good, but I mean, it was a fun film, and I think I loved a lot of the stuff in it, but I think it didn't quite have what the original film had, which was that general, what is going on, this is really creepy, this is really strange kind of thing. And I mean, I've watched documentaries on the film and how it got made and all the controversy, and I think it's a good film.
Yeah.
I kind of like the number 2 because it makes it what it is today. It adds like the comedy vibe into it. The first one's scary as shit. That one was brilliant as well.
The first one was very straightforward horror.
Yeah. This one was more like comedy. It had him saying groovy and stuff when all his friends would be like, what the fuck? It's amazing.
That's good. I mean, definitely. I think everything we're talking about is recommended. I mean, we hardly ever bring anything where it's like, don't watch this film,
unless it's actually really horrible.
It's actually
Fantastic
really bad.
4. Don't watch that.
No, don't watch. That's like.
I'd say watch the first 30 minutes and then you're done.
If you want to see a good film.
If you want to see a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough, because I think that's the worst kind of film, when a film is just devoid of anything. That's the worst kind of film.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right. I'll do my second film. I watched DreamWorks' The Croods. It's a 2012-13 film. It's essentially a film about cavemen kind of living out, and they're kind of like, it kind of plays on the ideas of change and ideas and being scared of change and different. Like they have the example idea of, oh yeah, well, you know, the dad character kind of tells a story of, oh, there was this girl, she went outside and she looked at this thing which she didn't know what it was, and you know what happened? She died because it was different.
Yeah.
It kind of plays on the ideas of a caveman being slow to, you know, ideas and changes, which is great. Main character played by Nicolas Cage.
Oh, that sounds brilliant
Which
already.
is awesome.
Yeah.
But the one thing that confused me at first, because when I saw the trailers, if you watch the trailer, you'll see that like the cavemen, they live in a very kind of caveman-esque world. And you kind of see like there's like this kind of like this earthquake, and then they see like this like, you know, lush, crazy, like kind of like all these weird animals kind of things. And originally I thought that was like they live in the normal caveman world that we know, and then it gets opened up to a new world, and it's like this is their world. No, their world's always like that.
Okay.
Like in the beginning, there's a really, really awesome scene where they're like hunting for food, but the animals are weird and colourful. But in this really plain background, and I was like, oh, so they live in this world. But it wasn't until after like that earthquake that you see because their house is like just a stone wall that gets destroyed, and then you see there's a whole jungle, a whole other world out there. And I thought that was a cool idea. They always live in this crazy, weird kind of world in a sense, and that you get introduced to a character who I thought was a time traveler at first, because he seemed to know a lot about the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like he knew how to make fire, and he had like this weird sloth animal which he calls belt, because he uses it as a belt to keep his trousers up.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
So I thought he was a time traveler, and because he says to the characters, oh yeah, the world's gonna end. And so I was like, how does he know that? Is he a time traveler that's just stuck in that time period?
Yeah.
And they never went into detail. I guess he just knows.
Yeah.
Like he's just been on his own for a while. Like he knows a lot of stuff. Like he's not like, oh, don't touch that, don't do this. You know, he knows. And I was like, I think it'd be really cool if he was a time traveler and he was just like, right, I'm gonna just survive. You know what I mean? Whether they're gonna lead into that into sequel, I don't know. But I highly recommend it. It's really well animated. This film looks fantastic. They really outdid themselves in this film. But it's highly recommend it. It's a good film. But Ace, you have something else to chat about? All right.
I recently it was like late night Netflix browsing, because you don't want to watch something too cerebral or something. Like, you just want something dumb on the background.
Yeah.
And my brother was like, "Oh, I heard that's a good film," talking about The Guest.
The Guest. All right.
And I was kind of like, I don't know, I don't think I'll pay attention, and it's like, I don't think it's going to be good. So we put it on anyway. Just from the start, it's like, okay, I'm captivated already. It stars Michael Monroe, who we know from It Follows, the main girl, and I can't remember the lead male actor's name is, but he was in Downton Abbey.
Yes.
Apparently, I think he was in season 2 and 3 or 3 and 4. Yeah. And I have no idea.
Which is even if you just don't know what Downton Abbey is, and then just look at the poster of The Guest, you're like, what?
Yeah. But basically, just at the start, they're saying this guy, like a soldier, arrives at their home, and soldier was in the same like squad or platoon as the son that this family, of the family, and it's that their son has died in war, and he's come back, and he wanted to kind of look after him in a way. But you keep getting weird vibes from him. Like, he seems to be doing good things, but he still seems ridiculously creepy, and you just can't place your finger on what it is. There's just something wrong with him. And the only person who seems to think this is Michael Monroe. But even then, she's kind of falling, like, oh, I don't know, he's kind of nice, he's helping me out.
He's dreamy.
That as well. Like, at one point, like, she's literally knocking on the shower room door, because she thinks her brother's in there, and she wants him to go out so she can shower. And then he comes out, and he's, like, in a towel, like, basically, so he's got the abs and everything, he's just kind of like, hey. Flexing. And she's just kind of like, oh, hi, kind of thing.
What a man.
Yeah, basically. But, yeah, she is very good. Very entertaining. I am shocked that it was this good. I honestly thought it was just going to be nothing that I'd care about.
Is it an underrated film from this year, do you think? Because it came out this year, didn't it?
Yeah. I have to believe it, because I've never heard anyone talk about it. It is amazing. So interesting. Yeah, watch it. It's a great film.
Cool. Got some good stuff. Ferret, is there anything else you want to throw in? It's fine if you don't.
Well, I've been playing a bit of Armour 3.
Armour 3, alright.
Yeah, bloody good game. That's all I can say. I mean, take a look at the screenshots.
See for yourself.
See for yourself if you don't believe me. Fun game.
That's cool. That's cool.
They have a lot. It's just, really good.
That's fine. Don't feel like you have to, guys, don't feel like you have to purposely be always watching and playing something. It's fine if you don't have anything. It's fine if you don't even want to talk about it. It's fine.
Yeah.
I've still got 2 films to talk about. I'm going to breeze through them real quick. The first is, the first of 2 is Meet the Feebles.
Okay.
Which is I think 1980s film directed by Peter Jackson. Some of his earlier stuff.
Yeah.
Meet the Feebles is essentially a film about these puppet-like animals putting on a show simply called The Feebles, and it kind of goes. It's kind of the film is about like before the show in a sense. So in an ironic way, this film is like parodying the Muppets, but now the Muppets are basically doing what The Feebles did like 30 years ago, because the new Muppet show is about everything almost other than the show now, and this is exactly what The Feebles is about, except it's an extremely fucked up version of like the Muppets, where there isn't anything that you don't see in this film. Like this film has everything: drug selling, sex, prostitution, tabloid exploitation, falling of stars, obesity, death, murder. Everything is in this film basically. It's such a fucked up film that, I mean, I would highly recommend not watching it if you are not 18, because you will enjoy the film if you are 18 more.
Okay.
In a sense. But, I mean, there isn't really, like, a main character in the film. Like, there's a couple characters you could say the main characters, like Robert, or Wobbit, the hedgehog. I think it's Sadie, who's, like, this hippopotamus who's with the director of the whole show being, I think he's a walrus, I think. And even those bigger animals are played by humans with just like these huge head masks, but everyone else is a puppet. So it works in their favor because the large animals are large. Yeah. They're not just a walrus is the same size as a fox. You know, something like that. The film is worth a watch just to see how good Peter Jackson's films were.
Okay.
Because the guy's kind of gone off the deep end of recently.
Yeah.
With films, he's kind of just like...
Since King Kong.
Since King Kong, he's not really known what he's doing.
I don't think he's cared. Like, he's just like, whatever.
But you can see him caring in a lot of his earlier films. Yeah. Like, The Feebles is very interesting because you're like, this is Peter Jackson. This is the guy who went on to do King Kong and The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And even with, like, Bad Taste as well. And Brain Freeze. Those films are exploitated as hell and gory and bloody and all that. Huh?
Is it Brain Dead or Brain Freeze? Or
It's called like, it has 2 names. It's like Brain Dead or Brain Freeze sometimes.
Is that the one where it's got the weird rat thing? Or
rat thing?
Yeah, like a weird rat zombie thingy.
I don't know about that.
Okay. Because I remember there was something he did and I watched it when I was far too young. And
there is a rat in The Feebles.
It definitely wasn't The Feebles though, because I haven't seen that. But
okay.
Something he did when I was a kid, it horrified me. And I was watching it underage.
It might be Bad Taste.
Might be.
Bad Taste has some like fairly weird visuals in it, like the alien and that.
Yeah, okay. It might have been that.
It's a really good film. I recommend watching it. And the final film I watched is another classic, being Fargo. Not the TV series, the actual film.
By, what's his name? Ben Stiller. No, I was about to say Ben Stiller. What's his name with Matt Damon?
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck, yeah. Is that the one you're talking about, right?
No. I'm talking about Fargo.
Fargo, yeah.
You're thinking of Argo.
Oh yeah, Argo is Ben Affleck.
Yeah, you're thinking of Argo.
Sorry.
It's Fargo.
Fargo.
The film set out in Canada during the winter. This film is just so good.
Yeah.
It's such a good film. I have no idea why they bothered making a TV series about it.
Because people liked it. That's why, and they thought they could capture.
No, the thing is, the film only just got recently more popular over the last 5 years. Like, this wasn't like an under the like kind of thing film. It was more one of those films that more people like. You seen Fargo? That film's really good, because it always was a good film, but it was just like it got more popular over time. And I think what happened was they went, let's make a TV series about it because we run out of ideas.
Possibly, yeah.
At least with the 2 shows you're talking about, Jessica Jones, that's based off a comic book series. No one's really done a series about a superhero.
Yeah.
Ash vs. the Evil Dead. You're expanding on the universe, you're answering questions, you're giving fans what people want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
with the Fargo TV series, it's just let's just remake the TV series and make it longer and add more bullshit to it. I mean, but the film is fantastic. It's got a very simple plot, and the basis of the film is just one thing leading to other things and just getting worse and worse and worse. And it's literally like what happens when a bad idea goes really bad.
Yeah.
Sounds interesting.
It's as simple as hell plot, and like I mean, the whole to see some like established characters have like the Canadian accent. Like I was surprised to see some of the actors in it, like Jim Belushi is in this film. Nice. And he's great. And the weird thing about the film is because what he's involved in, the police character who I'm sure you've seen, who despite the great scene, you can see it in the poster because it's everywhere, is like you've got a dead body and she's just looking at the dead body and she's like, oh yeah, it looks like you got real killed there, yeah, looks like we got someone killed over there, 2 others over there, yeah, looks like a real bad murder. It's just, I mean, I understand the police force is kind of like that when they're dealing with murders because they see it all the time, but just for a pregnant woman just to be like, yeah, we got a real murder case here, just so nonchalant about it, and she's like this slightly smaller pregnant woman just solving the case is fantastic. It's a fantastic idea, and it's just the Canadian accent as well. I mean, yeah, his character, even when she's hunting that character down because they did something, they're like, they say, oh yeah, he kind of was funny looking. And yes, Jim Belushi looks funny looking, but the fact that they reference that 3 times is like, yeah, it's a funny looking guy. He's like, what do you mean by funny? He's like, I don't know, he's just funny looking. And that's kind of how you would describe him. He's like, he's funny looking, but you don't know why.
Yeah.
But it's a great film. I highly recommend it. Don't bother with the TV series. Watch the film first, then the TV series if you have to watch it. Yeah, but that's about it, really. That's all I have.
I have one more film.
Okay, go on.
It's called Odd Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
That's the actual character's name as well.
Mm-hmm.
They say in the beginning that they were going to call him Todd Thomas, but the mum got his name wrong. So he's called Odd Thomas instead.
Wow, what a mess up.
Yeah, basically he can see the dead, and it is said straight from the beginning. He can see the dead, he tries and helps them so they can go on, whatever. It's played quite comedy-ish, but there are some seriously dark moments. The Odd Thomas himself is played by I can't remember his name, but it's the Russian crewmate on the Star Trek movie.
Wouldn't know who that is.
Okay. If you've watched it, you know who that is. He's very enjoyable in this, especially not having to do a Russian accent.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the thing is, he lives in a little small town. Police know he's a bit weird and that he can kind of see things, but they don't really officially say that, but they know. And started realising that a lot more of these weird kind of dead things, which they're the evil kind of dead things, where they're like weird, spidery, crawling people thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are just swarming to the town, so he knows something bad's going on.
Sounds a little bit like 8-Legged Freaks.
Exactly, they're ghosts.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But it's just when you said crawling creatures attacking the town, I immediately thought of that film. That film is just great to watch.
No, it's very enjoyable. I thought it was going to be awful, and yet again, first few minutes, it says it all right there what the show is going to be about, and it's really enjoyable.
It even spoils the ending. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. Yeah, it tells you everything.
Like some weird art house film. Oh, the ending was really the beginning, guys. Do you get it?
Oh no, that'd be terrible.
That would be kind of bad.
No, that's one of those late night kind of things. Like, yeah, I can watch that. It's not too overthinking or anything. It's just really enjoyable.
Cool. I guess that kind of wraps up the podcast. I mean, so we've got the final few things to do. So we have the video of the week as always, which is going to be I'm just going to call it the Yes Dance.
Okay.
Now, this is a film, I'm not even going to really describe it, but this film is essentially 2 guys going out to the club and they get involved with something called the Yes Dance.
Alright.
It's a 5-minute video. It's worth a watch, essentially, I will say. And I think that will kind of end up the podcast. I guess I'd like to thank Ace and Ferret for being on this podcast. We are getting close to the end of the year. So we only have like a few more podcasts in us before the year is up. So I guess now is the time to say, start getting your best of and worst of lists ready.
I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this.
Cool, yeah. So we're kind of doing a favorites, best of the years and worst of the years. and then we'll have a few other random questions that we can answer and have ready. But I will send you guys the kind of spreadsheet later on.
Okay.
But start thinking about it because we got like maybe 2 more podcasts, maybe 3 before the end of the year. So get that list ready. But yes, but other than that, not unless there's anything anyone wants to add. No?
I can't think of anything.
Oh no. Okay, well, then I will end this podcast like I always do. I am the Angry Raccoon.
I am Ace.
I'm Ferret.
And this has been the podcast. I'll see you on the next one.
I'll see you soon.
Oh,
Yes!
sync.
We got
did it!
Sync, nice. Alright, later guys.
Peace out.
I like your Skype pic. That I really like that.
Oh, thank you very much.
It's Diesel, isn't it?
Yeah. Crazy dog himself.
The crazy dog. I mean, he must be huge by now.
He's like medium height. Big build though. He's fucking Jesus Christ.
I can quite imagine.
Muscles and shit. So. He's got more muscles than me. It's crazy.
No, that must be kind of messed up actually. Just looking at your dog like, oh damn, he's more butch than me.
It's actually weird when your dog is more defined than you. Alright, that's fucking creepy.
It's because the dog doesn't skip leg day.
Never skip
That's true. It fucking works out all the time, innit? Whereas me, I just sit on my ass.
I think that's just the same for all of us.